Okay, good evening everyone. Chad here again from Strongman Gold Coast, giving you another update for the week. Things probably look a little bit different. Got myself a pop filter. Hopefully that helps the sound a bit and doesn't get too many popping noises through the mic. Sorry I'm a little bit late this week. I know I try and do one each week, but I'm about 5 days late, or maybe I'm early for tomorrow night. But anyway, you're only going to get one out of this 2 weeks. I'm sorry, but there's been a lot happen in that time. First up, we'll have a look at our updates from our, what have we got? Our Australian Strongman Alliance Nationals on August 6th. Cool thing is, Ahmed Tawfiq from Singapore, our adopted heavyweight strongman athlete, has come to the party and promised us a placing for all of our competitors for the Australian Strongman Alliance. All of our competitors who place first in each of their classes for the Australian Strongman Alliance Nationals this year will get their place in the Asia Pacific Strongman Championships in Singapore on October 15th. With that, they'll get accommodation for 3 nights from October 14 to 17, and they get transfers to and from the venue on the competition day itself. Now, we had quite a few from Australia head up there last year. That's the team. They did incredibly well, taking home wins in 4 out of 5 divisions with big cash prizes provided by Tawfiq. This year they stepped it up a notch, and has even got competitors coming from Brunei, Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, and of course Australia. So the cool part is, as I said before, first place from each division of our 8 divisions in the Australian Strongman Alliance Nationals on August 6th will get their chance to head up to Singapore. If you check out the link on the Australian Strongman Alliance website, you can see a few of the photos and some information that are going on there. Another update for the Nationals, we've got a huge prize pool coming from Loaded Lifting. They've come on board to sponsor the Nationals. They're offering prize pool package of $85 value per person, which includes ammonia inhalants, some Axel Strongman pulling straps, as well as the new Loaded Lifting Lock Wrist Wraps 2.0. For each of the first, second and third place getters in each class. So that's 24 prizes in total. They've also given us an extra prize for the best place Masters female and best place Masters male to give away. That's 26 prizes in total and over $2,200 in value. Now, the biggest thing that's obviously happened this week was the Eddie Hall deadlift. Now, I called it the other day and I sort of expected that he wouldn't actually make this lift. And that was based on his attempt earlier in March where he did the Arnolds in the USA. So here you can see him taking a few big breaths before he steps up for this 500 kilo lift. He's got a few big friends on the side there, Terry Hollands and Rob Frampton, you can see over there. Rob certainly gets excited as this happened. You can also see a little camera down underneath Eddie there behind him, and I have not seen that view pop up on any sort of scene so far. But this effort obviously is just phenomenal, with a 35 kilo change in the world record from 465, which Eddie set earlier this year in March, to now 500. When I made this video, one of these videos a couple of weeks back, I called that Eddie wouldn't be able to make the lift. Now the media have actually jumped on this, which is a great thing for the sport, I guess, for some awareness or infamy, but they've mostly jumped on it to jump on the part where Eddie makes the comment that I nearly died making this lift because he's got blood coming from his nose. Now, you've probably seen a lot of strength sports people get a bit of blood pressure up and the blood comes from his nose. So do we look at it and say, cool, we've got some more awareness for our sport, or do people start looking at the sport saying they're all big hulks and they don't know what they're doing, they're only hurting themselves? Either way, I'm pretty happy with how it went. I don't think it's too bad for the sport, and you can see Colin Bryce wearing the crowd up there. I think Eddie did an amazing job, and he certainly silenced me there, and I didn't expect he'd actually make it. As far as talking about the media, even the NT News had a go at it. They also talk about where he had the blood nose and the deadlift nearly kills Eddie. He said it after the lift, it nearly killed him. So all the media outlets have definitely jumped on that. But as you can see here, we've actually got a video of him hitting 465 kilos back in March. So for me, it was actually, as you can see, quite a hard lift for him to make. And that's why I didn't expect him to make the 500 kilo lift. There's a huge difference there in the lift speed between that lift at 465 and the 500, with only 4 months difference between the two lifts. Most people don't make 35 kilos of deadlift gains regardless of that bar being slightly different. You could see it, the wobbliness didn't really affect him that people do talk about. I think he's just done an amazing effort to work so hard for that 500 kilo lift. Updates for the world of strongman, especially for those that are wanting to compete. We've got a list of pro strongmen that are now competing in the Hong Kong Arnold on August 19 to 21. Zydrunas, Savickas, Vitalis Lalas, Krzysztof Radzikowski, Dimitar Sabatinov, Mikhail Shivlyakov, Martin Wildauer, Alan Robert Colley, Rauno Heiner, and I believe his name said is Akos Naj. Now the interesting thing about that list is it was announced just 2 weeks ago, before they announced the Europe's Strongest Man, that Zydrunas Savickas will not compete at World's Strongest Man. You can see the article here on startingstrongman.com. But he has had a couple of niggling injuries. I believe his back has bothered him for a while. So I'm guessing we're going to have him having a bit of a rest. So he's announced that he's out of World's Strongest Man, which is due to be shot in South Africa from, I believe it's about the 13th to the 19th of August. So they would basically have to do their qualifiers, then do their finals on the last shooting day of the World's Strongest Man, then fly immediately across and do World's Strongest Man. Now, the official list of competitors for World's Strongest Man hasn't been released yet. Of course, the Zydrunas would be on there. You'd think Thor, Eddie, Brian Shaw would all be on there as well, based on the previous year's performances and how they've gone so far this year. Probably other few popular names like Felix and Vitalis Lalas. Looks like Matthias Kaliskowski, who's done really well in the past 3 heavyweight Arnolds, would be there, is going along there too. He seems to be confirmed to be heading along. So as far as World's Strongest Man, I don't have the updates yet on who is actually competing, but I'm sure that'll probably come out in the next week. Another big one that popped up and caused some conjecture: the Strongman Champions League new Raw rules, we'll call it. So is it Raw or Raw? Probably not Raw. But they made a bit of a statement talking about the strongman, do you call them strength aids, being sort of gimmicks, as you can see here on this article on ironmind.com. Now what they're doing is they've made a list of things that they're changing. So that would be, they're now not allowing double belts, which is popular in a few strongmen. I've got one myself, the soft belt with the harder Velcro belt over the top, or even a soft belt with a leather belt over the top. They're not allowing knee wraps. They're not allowing what I believe to be multiple elbow sleeves. So I'm guessing they'll allow you a single elbow warmer on just one arm. As it says here, will allow you to have only one elbow warmer at only one arm. So I'm guessing that means they're only allowing it for you if you actually have an elbow injury or prior issue. Otherwise, no elbow sleeves. So no figure 8 straps as well. The other one, no high heel boots, is interesting. Does that mean they're going to knock out Olympic lifting shoes? And I'm not sure why that's an issue. Is that for the short people who have trouble getting the stones up on a high platform? Maybe that's what it is. Other than that, it's an interesting concept and probably good for the sport, setting a few guidelines so people don't keep adding things on top over and over and over. Can't see it being really an issue, and maybe it's part of Strongman Champions League trying to set themselves aside a bit from the World's Strongest Man and Arnold's tie-up, which seems to have sort of happened over the past 8 to 12 months. Moving on locally, as you know, I've been talking a lot about a few of our log presses and overhead presses. One that popped up just a week and a half ago was Shane Reilly in the under 90s as well, which we've had a huge amount of competition lately. Lee Shaw hit a 136 log, which I showed you in my last video. Andrew Stewart hit a 135 log not long before that. Now Shane here has hit himself a 137.5 log lift at a recent Strongman Showdown held at PTC South Brisbane. You can see there it was a little bit wobbly, got a little bit excited as well, but the power was definitely there. So Shane on the day weighed in, I believe, 95 kilograms. He's regularly an under 90 competitor. Huge amount of strength to finish that lift, even with a little bit of a jerk. But I think, based on that, at the ASA Nationals, I know Shane and Peanut are going head to head. We might see ourselves with a 140 log as a new record in the under 90 kilo strongman, which is phenomenal, since the under 105 log record currently is 150. Not on top of that, Shane took it another step further this weekend, where he hit, based on my call out a couple of weeks back, Shane went out looking for the bodyweight monster dumbbell lift. Now here he is here, hitting 90 kilos on what was his 4th attempt of the day in training last weekend at Coco's gym. Shane weighing in at 95 on the day. Huge amount of shoulder strength here. Look at that. Perfect little jerk in there. Huge amount of power. Nearly kicks back up and hits him in the chin after. But Shane, very, very happy with that. And obviously, huge amount of pressing power now. And I think we're definitely going to see a lot of things out of him, not just at the ASA Nationals, but going into the future. And it probably backs up my comment I made a while back that we might see 150 kilo overheads in both the axle and log lifting in 2017. Now, after that, we move on. Just a few more updates for this week. Strongman events in Australia on strongmangoldcoast.com. We've got Unleash the Beast at the X Unbranded in Canberra, a novice strongman comp down there by Canberra Strongman Association and Bex Pryor. Also, the PTC Wolfpack Strongman Novice and Improvers competition out of PTC Sydney on July 24th as well. ISF are running their tractor pool, which I know Will's put a lot of time into. They've got 4, I believe, different tractor pulling disciplines. Of course, the big one for us, the ASA Nationals on August 6th. Viking Strength running the New South Wales Diamond Classic Evening Strongman competition on August 12th. The Victorian Log and Deadlift Championships, which is another heavy event by Iron Revolution, on August 13th. And then Queensland's Strongest Man and Woman by Sunshine Coast Strongman, Muscle Pit and Alana Kerno up on the Sunshine Coast. Very heavy comp. I think even the under 80 men have got a 135, farmers under 90 at 145, and it goes up from there. A lot of interest on that comp because of the uniquely heavy events. Also on that same weekend, the weekend after, we've got Tasmania's Strongest series, which is round 2 of their series for the year. And the most recent addition we've seen just come up this week is the Best in the West, which is an all-women's comp being run by Be Strong Fitness in Geelong, or you might know Joanne Gregan, who owns this gym down there. That's on September 11th. And Static Monsters, as I mentioned the other week, is still going along. We've got New South Wales by PTC MacArthur and 7 others. So USA, New Zealand, and then the 6 others running around Australia. But thank you very much. That's the updates for the week. I hope your all lifting is going well, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all at the ASA Nationals this year. Thank you very much, everyone.